Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about an unusual subject. I want to talk about a Vook. What the heck is a Vook? A Vook is a new medium. I believe I'm the first to ever utilize it. It is a video book. It is writing a book through video. All right. So what the heck are you talking about, Scott? Well, I believe, so I'm talking about a Vook because I'm the first person to ever write one. And the reason why I ended up writing one is I wrote two books, right? And absolutely nobody cared. Um, you can actually find the links to my books in my link tree. Just check the link tree. You'll find the links to both of my books. They're both distributed for free, but nobody cared. You don't have to read them. The world didn't read them. Nobody cared, right? And there are a lot of authors like this. There are a ton of authors, and you're like, well, Scott, maybe they weren't good. Actually, I can tell you right now, it is not a question of whether they were good or not. And the reason why is I listened to this lady, I think she goes by the no nonsense editor right here on YouTube. And she talks to a lot, and she actually supplies professional editor services. And she said, like, writing a good book and selling a good book have nothing to do with each other, right? Nothing, right? Like, she's like, you can write the best book in the world. That doesn't mean it's going to sell, right? And you could write the worst book, one of the worst books in the world. That's not going to stop you from selling a lot of copies, right? Like, selling a book and writing a good book are not even remotely connected, right? They should be, right? But it's not, right? So what I want to talk about right now is the rise of the Vook. So I have written a Vook, right? Now, what is it? So I wrote a Vook on Orion Akaba. I've done a playlist. The link is below, and it's a playlist of over 140 videos on the subject of Orion Akaba being exiled from the Critical Role, Vox Machina, Mighty Nine, Bell's Tales Table in 2015. This is a subject that I'm hyper interested in, and it's interesting the way it came about. So a lot of people are like, Scott, why don't you write a book on this topic? So first of all, I don't think I'm ever going to write a book again. And the reason why is it's a waste of time. Nobody reads them, right? Like, I did 140 videos on this one subject I was hyper interested in. Way less work than it took to write both of the books I wrote, right? And I got 100,000 views and over 1,000 comments. Done. Like, way more engagement, right? And you're like, well, wait a second, Scott, what about sales? I don't care about sales. Like, I just, like, I want to create good content, right? And the moment I realized creating good content has nothing to do with the ability to sell it, I got very uninterested in selling anything, right? Like, I want to make good content. It doesn't necessarily, I absolutely could go about the business of selling a good book, but the reason I'm not interested in that is it's not connected to good content, and I want to make good content. I'm far more interested in making content that is good and compelling and useful than I am with making material that sells, right? Those are two very different things, and I've learned that lesson, and that's why I'm not pursuing sales, right? Because it's a different goal, and I don't want to do the things that are necessary to get that goal, especially if it's divorced from good content, right? Like, there you go. All right, so I believe I have written the first book, and the link is below, right? And I want to start talking about this. I think this is an exciting medium, and I think this is the future of publishing, right? So if you are an author, you can go about your business this way, and you're like, well, wait a second, Scott. Like, a book has a cohesive structure, and it makes a lot of sense. All that's true, right? And my book of this subject is way more messy than any book would ever been. But what's the point of crafting this beautiful thing that nobody looks at when you can craft a less beautiful thing that people will engage with immediately, right? So what makes a book work? Well, frequency of posting, right? If you can post on a subject every day, right, there's something new that can happen. And you're like, new? Yes, this is very new, right? So I believe I have become the foremost expert in the world on the subject of Orion Akaba's exile from Critical Role. I don't think anybody on the planet knows more about this than me, including the people who were in it, right? And the reason why is all of them were extremely close to it. They don't really have any perspective. It's hard for them to separate their intellectual information from their emotional information from their spiritual information, right? Because they were too close to it, right? But not only that, but when you post about a subject every day on the internet, one thing that people just will not like, I can tell you right now, if you are wrong, man, oh man, people, there's nothing faster. The speed of light is slower than the speed of someone running to their keyboard to tell you you're wrong on the internet. It works, right? And so I've been able to hone my opinion on this subject through this book, right? And so I think this is very exciting. I think this is a no-brainer on any type of a nonfiction subject, and sharing your opinion and crafting a book on the subject, right? And so I highly recommend it to other authors. I'd love to hear your opinion on this crafting. But one other thing I did want to talk about, and that is, I'm not convinced that you can't do this narratively, right? That you can't tell a story in the same way. Again, it's going to be messy, it's going to be ugly, right? But I'm not convinced you can't do it. In fact, I think you can do it, right? And I think I'm going to try. Wish me luck, because it's not going to be easy. And also, anything new, people immediately get all up in their hooble bobbles and like, oh, I don't know about that, right? But like, I don't need your permission to craft new reality, but I'm excited about the book. Do you think any other books exist? I'd love to hear it. What is your every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. I would love to hear your humble opinion on crafting books and the reality and the validity of books as a medium. I'd love to hear your opinion on that. Please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.